when you have all this stuff being shoved down your throat, it can make you feel like that's how it's supposed to be. And all of a sudden you're this person who has all these rules that you didn't really make for yourself.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Welcome back. Rayna is horny as fuck to talk about our new Vibes Only product.
You guys, we have this new product we're launching today. I have been masturbating so hard with it, and I have been dying to talk about it every week. I'm like, 2 more weeks.
This is your Roman Empire.
It's finally happening. It is my Roman Empire. I think about it all the time. I'm so excited for you guys to get this.
What do you think you talk about more, the Debbie or our videographer? If you could have both at one time. Tessa's like Ryan. Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Not even a competition. Tessa was here for 30 minutes before you got here. 25 was dedicated to Ryan.
We're going to briefly recap the Halloween shows. We talked about them last week, but just we had a few hilarious costumes we really think you guys will appreciate, even if you weren't there. But Ryan's idea was to dress up like a security guard. He just got like a black t-shirt that said security, and then he was going to kind of surprise you with it at the show. And then my idea was to put on a bald cap, and lo and behold, I had extras because I wore wig caps with my wigs. And then Tessa's idea was to do a bunch of like temporary tattoos, which we didn't have time to do, but he did the bald cap and the security guard shirt.
We're going to do temporary tattoos. Oh yeah. My God.
Or you know,
he's a creative person.
She is so creative. You can buy like fake looking dumb sleeves. We just didn't have time. We had time to go to 2 sex shops on this trip.
We did go to 2 sex shops. I just have to tell you like how enthralled I was with that costume because it was like it said security in bright white. It was a black shirt with white writing.
Yes.
You started telling a story and I like looked at him and I was like, I can't stop looking at this. And you go, I don't have to tell my story.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry, I can't let this go.
It's no longer about me, and that's fine. The show is now about this cosplay security guard.
Well, it was really fun. Okay, we're going to talk about it for like very briefly. I'll talk about our stupid live shows, but we're going to thank our wonderful partners first. Thanks to Buffy for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Buffy makes award-winning bedding that's soft on you and soft on the earth. For $20 off your Buffy order, visit buffy.co and enter the promo code GGE. And thanks to AG1 for supporting our show. If you want to take ownership of your health, try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/GGE.
Yes, and thanks to HelloFresh for supporting GGE and my lunch I just had. Go to
your lunchtime pasta.
My lunchtime pasta. I don't know if you caught a glimpse. That was like taco pasta. It was crazy. We'll talk about it. Go to hellofresh.com/GGE free. Ooh, and use code GGE free for free breakfast for life. 1 breakfast item per box while subscription is active.
I think they're just like, you're going to be a subscriber for life.
We'll do whatever it takes. And this episode is sponsored by Quince. Shop high quality luxury items without luxury prices. Go to quince.com/GGE to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. QUINCE.com/GGE.
Okay. We are just going to say a couple more things about Halloween shows just because we didn't get to talk about it last week because we hadn't done them yet. But we are just getting off of the San Francisco and LA shows. So thank you guys for coming out. Our hometown show and our home state show. And they were, I'm sure, really wonderful. We haven't done them yet, but I know they will be.
Yeah. So we did Portland, Seattle, and Vancouver, all Halloween shows. You know, when you first pitched the idea to me, I was like, oh, I don't know. That's a lot. And I can't imagine not doing it. I mean, when we did this in Boston 2 years ago, we just threw on, like, I was a taco, you were a soup costume. We did the same thing for all 3 shows. We didn't wear it the whole show. Like, to really commit to these costumes, which we did talk about last week, so we don't want to be repetitive. But it was just so much fun.
It was so much fun. It was so special. I don't want to go back to not doing theme shows. I feel like, what am I going to wear, a fucking jumpsuit to the next show? Ew. I had so much fun coordinating it with you. And you just made me laugh so hard. I was like, how am I going to wear this hat the whole time? And you were like, you wear like a hat. Like you wear always like you wear a hat.
I don't know if you've ever worn a hat for
You've been extra condescending lately. We were on the way to the airport and I was like, did you know how cold it's going to be in like Seattle and Vancouver and Portland? You go, yeah, Rayna, it's a different part of the country.
I didn't say it in that tone.
Weekend, I was like, different part of the country.
You were just like, can you believe it's going to be cold in the Pacific Northwest? And I was like, yeah, it's a different part of the country. You were condescending to me. We were walking in Vancouver because, you know, I pride myself on my love for Vancouver and I do feel like I know the city pretty well despite only being there 3 times. And I was like, I think the sushi place is right up here. And you go, yeah, you could check that little computer in your pocket. I was like, okay,
really
bitch.
did not like that. You really were like, I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going.
And I was like proud of myself. I was like, oh, you guys, I think you just walk up here and take a ride. I was all proud of myself that I knew how to get there. And they're like, you can check that little computer in your pocket, man.
I mean, I would have said it to anybody, and I just meant like maybe instead of guessing, we just get the information.
Listen,
It's cold
We've
out.
been spending too much time together. No, I'm kidding. We really do still love each other just
I don't
as
know
much.
how it's been. It's been so many years.
Because we just laugh all the time.
Every second this weekend. I was with you until like 3:00 yesterday, and you just came over today to work.
And then I always think you're just not going to want to text me, but you still do.
I'm like, I'll hear from her in 4 minutes. You were like, I just got this jacket. It's amazing. And I was like, I'm going on a phone break for 30 minutes. And then I saw your Instagram story that your table had like exploded and your dinner was all over the ground. I was like, I got to text her. You catfished me with that story. You were like, she's going to text me.
We got home at I got home like 1:00 in the afternoon from this tour and was like, I know I'm going to cook dinner. I'm going to cook my HelloFresh tonight. And I just want like a light lunch. So I had a Daily Harvest shakshuka and I was just going to make it. And I was so excited about it. It looked so good. I had seasoned it and I take it outside. It was like a beautiful 70-degree day. I take it outside.
It's a different part of the country.
It's a different part of the country from that we were just in. And I take it outside. I sit down on my little chair, put it on my table. And I feel like it happened so quick. All of a sudden it was completely, all the food was in the rocks.
Also, right,
I've
not
stones.
that I would ever eat food off the ground, but like it was gravel.
I have like a rock
gravel.
backyard.
It was just tons of food in the gravel.
And I was like, what even just happened? It took me a minute to understand. Here's what happened. That little table is just a cheap Amazon table that I bought when I was moving in and before like one of my side tables arrived. It's not for outdoor. So it was rotted. So my brother DM'd me. He was like, guess you didn't get the white glove delivery. And I was like, I'll be honest, this is my bad. This was like a cheap wooden table that wasn't supposed to be outside in the first place. It's been rained on, like whatever. It just collapsed. And then I was like, how do I scoop this up? I was scooping up rocks into like the bowl.
I know. I shuddered thinking about you cleaning it up with all the gravel and
the gravel.
And you guys also, if I may direct you, we show pictures of all this stuff on YouTube. So if you want to watch the episodes and like get a real visual, go to YouTube. Girlsgotta.youtube.com.
So, and it was fine. And I was just like, I'm not going to freak out. What recourse do I have?
I hate a problem I can't solve. I hate it. I'm just looking at this food in the gravel and I'm like, I have no recourse.
I know. Literally to myself, I was like, don't text Rayna, don't text Rayna, don't text Rayna. I was like, I just spent the last entire weekend every minute with her. And then I was texting with Sparkle Eyes about something and I was like, he hadn't responded yet. He probably just was like in the shower or something. And I was like, hello, something traumatic just happened to me. And of course he's like, babe, what happened? He comes back. But in that interim between him getting back to me and just holding back from texting you, I just had to post on Instagram and let the world know.
Just to see which one of us was going to text you first, just in case someone else would text you. I was laying outside reading A Court of Thorns and Roses and I promised myself that I wouldn't talk to other people.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay, so really quick, we had these incredible shows. We had this dance studio in Vancouver, which is the second time they've opened the show. They opened it last year as well, Formation Studio. You can find them on Instagram. They are so incredible. They choreographed a routine just for the show. They really hype the audience like no other dancers we've ever had. They jump out in the crowd. We'll have a hype video of this and stuff, but they are so wonderful, local to Vancouver, my favorite city, and we just love them. So we wanted to shout them out. You can look them up, take classes, Formation Studio. It's easy to remember. Okay, ladies, now let's get in formation. Oh, they did Beyonce Energy, a short snippet of it, and the part with the mute challenge, and the audience did it.
I couldn't believe they did it because it was a mashup, and I would never
quick.
have expected it to. I would have never known. I lost my mind.
Yes, you got to be quick with it. You and I were backstage, and the audience is screaming, cheering for them the whole performance, all 3-4 minutes, and they totally went silent at that part. We were so hype about it.
I lost my mind. I wouldn't have even done it. I wouldn't have known. A mashup, and I'm drinking, absolutely, and I would have been like, yes.
And we just wanted to thank everybody who dressed up at all. But there were so many specific Girls Gotta Eat and also vibes only themed costumes that I can't get over it. I can't believe people do that. It's such an honor. I can't believe that we have that type of impact. And it's not that you're just on the way to the show, let's pick up something at the store. People thought this out. They took time to paint things or put together things or sew things and really conceptualize these costumes that are so fucking hysterical and so niche to our brand. It's hard to grasp, and it just is so flattering, and it makes us so happy. And we have a couple of our favorites, but my personal favorite was 2 girls dressed up as a clutch and a pair of boxers, which is like a girl's gonna eat deep cut. I don't need to get into it, but it's one of our favorite conversations from so long ago. But then we revisited the boxers recently, so it was even more relevant. And then my other favorite was iconic men of GGE, and it was Azul, Dallas business card guy, sparkle eyes, and short zipper king.
Iconic zipper king.
And then just people dressed up as like blow gel and vibes only and all of that. And
Us.
I want to hear your favorites. My favorites have to do with you. A lot of Rayna stuff.
Well, 2 girls just dressed up in hot pink bodysuits as the Rayna. These girls
The
dressed
vibrator.
up as us. The outfits we wore to the last show.
Yes.
I don't know how they even did it.
Yes. It reminds me of, okay, here's this thing that happened. It's in the Homecoming documentary, Beyonce's Coachella.
Okay.
And the documentary is filmed over both weekends in Coachella. You know, like 2 weekends, she did
Yeah,
the
it's the
same
best.
performance
Yeah.
and they switch
Different
back and forth
outfits,
throughout
yeah.
the documentary, you know, and you're just like, this is crazy. And obviously in the second weekend, someone wore her full outfit
Okay.
from like the first weekend.
Okay.
And Beyonce calls her out. It's in the documentary. And she goes, how'd you turn that around so quickly? Like, I almost felt like that. Someone literally got our Atlanta outfits, like from the
a week
last
ago.
show, from
Yeah,
a week ago,
it
and
was
wore them.
crazy.
They fully nailed it. And they were Rayna and Ashley. But Rayna, tell people about the
Also, these girls dressed up as my hair extensions, and it was unreal. They just were wearing like all black, and they had hair extensions just glued all over their bodies, like just chaos all over. And I just really blew us away.
You're
Am
gonna
I
say another
forgetting
one?
one?
Yes, Rayna, you're.
Oh my god! Okay, these girls dressed up as my original boobs. Okay, each girl was a tit, and they pulled the photo from my first boob job, so many boob jobs ago, that I posted, and I had these like medals. I had like a gold medal hanging from each nipple, and they like had the medals on top of the nipples, and it was huge boobs. 2 girls in huge boobs. It was insane.
We'll show it. Let's show it on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll show it on YouTube.
Yeah.
We'll show all this on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll show as much as we can on YouTube.
I want to say thank you again. It's just to look out and see thousands of people over the weekend spend so much time and energy to dress up, really adhere to this theme, and want to really base so much on us. We saw so much Travis and Kelsey and Barbie and really creative
Snack stuff.
So much snack stuff.
Yeah.
And just couples really got into it. It's an honor. It never stops being an honor that you guys want to do this. It means so much to us.
And if you are really excited about dressing up, you can dress up for the holiday shows. People do it all the time.
Yeah.
We have said that lightly over the years, like dress up if you want. You want to be like sexy Santa or an elf or sexy Mrs. Claus or whatever, candy cane reindeer, whatever you want to do. You can dress up. We've seen it a lot.
A lot, especially in New York.
Yeah.
So we're going to dress up. We always dress up a lot. Well, maybe I'll do like
Not in costume, but yeah. I guess last year I was that owl.
You were the Goblin King from the Labyrinth.
Or what's his name? Harry Potter's owl?
Hedwig.
Hedwig. Remember, I went a week
owl.
getting messages about Hedwig. I was like, what does this mean?
I thought Goblin King. That's my first one.
Yeah. Jared Freed just called me a snow owl, and then people came in with Hedwig.
I
But
was
yes.
that owl. That was so funny. Well, as it stands now, we have 3 more shows until the end of the year. So that is San Diego this week, Toronto December 8th, and New York December 10th. And then full transparency, we will probably not tour until the fall next year. So This is it. That is all, folks. So many of you said that you had just come to your 2nd, 3rd, 4th GGE show, and thank you. It's like such an honor. We know you love to come. We're going to take a little break and just let you miss us, but these are your last opportunities. So we can't wait to see you guys there. And what we'll be working on in the meantime is this podcast, but also Vibes Only.
Mm-hmm.
And we are so excited to announce a couple new things today. I cannot believe I finally get to do it. I am so thrilled.
Rayna, go all the way off.
We have really amazing stuff for the holidays with Vibes Only planned for you guys, but our newest toy is the Debbie. We will show photos of it. It's on YouTube. I'm holding it. It's actually been sitting in my lap like my child this
How do you even
toy.
have it that close to your clit and not be suctioning it in the Debbie?
Already used it today. Not the one that's on my lap. It's been hard for me to not use it down here. But this is a new air pulse vibrator. So we have the Rayna, which you're familiar with, and it has an air pulse suction. On the other end, it also vibrates. This is a smaller version of an air pulse. It's little. It's sort of like a donut. And it has a beautiful rose gold finger loop. It's really, really easy to hold when you masturbate. It's great for traveling. The size is just so little and compact.
It's so cute. Like when we saw this, we were immediately attracted to it, just of how cute it is. That's the color that you guys are seeing. And it's this beautiful lavender. And it's so soft as always. We have like the softest silicone in the game.
In the game.
In the game.
It is our first purple toy. So we have some new purple stuff coming out as well. But it is so soft. It is so easy to hold. I use it literally every day. And my favorite thing about this Air Pulse is the actual sucker on it is a larger hole than I've probably ever seen. Like it's a pretty significant size hole. So where my big clit girls at? The Rayna is the perfect size, but this is bigger. It really vacuums your whole clit in there.
Yes, but no matter what, even if you have the tiniest clit on the planet, it'll go in there and it'll suction around it. So it's perfect for all sizes.
Yeah, so
one size fits all clits.
You have thousands of nerve endings in your clitoral region, and it's going to suck them all up. So I love it. I've never had an orgasm like this in my entire life. I black out from the orgasm. I see stars. No man will ever be able to satisfy me the way this can. I don't know how to explain this to you. I love all of our children. All the toys are wonderful. Of course, I'm partial to the Rayna, but this is my favorite toy we have ever come out with. I love holding it.
Oh my gosh.
It fits in the palm of your hand. You can toss it in your bag, take it for overnight trips, take it on the road. I can't say enough about it. It's so amazing. And I just said to Ashley, does this have some like crazy mega like battery life on it? Like I've never had to charge mine, and I've had it for 2 months, and I'm not promising you guys that you will never have to charge it, but it makes me get off so quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's technology. It only has one motor. You know, the Rayna has dual motor, which is incredible. Right. But this, charges quickly and it lasts a really long time. And that's our Little Debbie.
That's our Little Debbie. It is available for sale today, all through the holidays. It might sell out pretty quick. I don't know. Check it out.
I think so. After that,
it's the best orgasm I've ever had.
That promo you just did.
It's the best orgasm I've ever had. It's not even close. Okay, I love all of them.
Okay. We just continue all of our other toys. Our other business partners like, why aren't the other ones selling? We're like, Rayna went too hard. All right, I'm going to jump in here.
I'm supposed to like the Rayna and the Ashley more, but I don't. Right. I love this. So anyways, vibesonly.com. And then Ashley has some very exciting stuff to tell you about too.
Well, it's not
as exciting as that, but
we are introducing new packaging. We rebranded, did a makeover, glowed up our packaging. We are so proud of it. Same incredible formulas you've always enjoyed, except now our former blow gels are now the Suck and Blow Gel, and they are vulva friendly. And the 2 flavors we have for the holidays are sugar cookie and the peppermint patty. And we have wanted to do these for so long, and we were talking about this last holiday season, like, what are we going to do? So we've taste tested so many different flavors to make sure that they're perfect. So the peppermint patty, Suck and Blow Gel, oral enhancer for everyone. And it is going to be minty, but it's not going to sting or anything crazy. Yeah, it's subtle. And then, of course, the sugar cookie, which has a note of our vanilla frosting, which was our top seller for so long. So it's going to be that sweet taste, but it's different. It's not the same formula. So that's going to be your sugar cookie. If you want one of those flavors, we probably still have pumpkin spice left over. And those are the 3 flavors that we're going to have for the holiday season. And this beautiful ombre packaging. We love an ombre. These are 3.2 ounces, which is travel safe for TSA. So you can bring these on the road, never have to worry about that. And
I just want to say, if you're new to the show, you've never heard of this before, these Suck and Blow gels are really great to just enhance any oral experience. Maybe you love oral, but you're looking to like make it more exciting. Or maybe you hate it and you're looking for a way to make it enjoyable. You just put a drop of this on either a vulva or penis, and
a little more than a drop. You got a big dick.
A couple drops. Yeah. But it's the same consistency as lube. It's nice and easy to use. You're not drinking it or anything, or, whatever.
No, Rayna, you cannot use it as a food product.
Okay. Slurp it down on that dick or that pussy.
Don't put it on your ice cream. A little bit on your donut. And then the juiced up lube is in a squeeze tube, which we love that you can use it one-handed. So you feel like you need some lube, you're feeling a little dry, just reach over and just squeeze it instead of having to like finagle a pump, which our other lube was great too. I could use that one-handed, but this is even easier. And we just love the shape. We love the color, of course, the packaging. And this is also going to be TSA approved travel size. You can bring all these products with you, vacation, honeymoons, girls trips, whatever you want to do. So we have the new packaging for the juice up. I love the like vertical
I love it.
Copy print on it. It really does. Chic. Everything just feels a lot more chic and the same formulas that you know and love, except of course vulva safe now for the Suck and Blow Gel. And that was a journey to come up with that name. And
what did we think of?
I feel very proud that I finally did it.
What did you say that I was like, absolutely not?
Suck sauce.
Suck sauce. So we all try to like brainstorm these ideas and no one wants to like insult the other person. I was like, how can I tell her that this doesn't sound on brand? Suck sauce. Suck sauce.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Naming that was like a real journey because it has to imply sucking dick and eating pussy, and we want to keep it somewhat elevated. You know, like blow gel was so perfect, and so this is great. Just sucking that clit, blowing that dick. Actually, well, you know, you're not blowing, you're sucking no matter what. Honestly,
I can't even remember when that was. I was in Pittsburgh when we were developing that. So we've been working on this for a long time on the new flavors, the new packaging. So everything we've done is always great for a gift, but this is even more beautiful. It just looks really chic and high end. It'll be a perfect gift for yourself or somebody else.
okay. So while we're here talking about orgasms and whatnot, I do want to share a story with you that I totally forgot to tell you,
You know,
last
I love
week.
a story you don't tell me.
So this was about Sparkle Eye's birthday weekend. Something that happened right when we got to Malibu. So we had some drinks while we were waiting for our room, and then we check into our room. And of course, we just get down to it. Like we start having sex, whatever. So
Thank you for explaining to me what get down to that.
And then we just started kissing.
And we had sex with each other.
Yeah. So we started having sex, and it was going great. Everything was hitting. And if you want like a visual, like
Check the YouTube.
he was. That's where we release our sex tape. It's just on our YouTube.
I'm like,
just a clip.
We knew you guys weren't watching.
Just a podcast clip. Yeah.
Sweet test.
Are you even watching? He was on top, just so you know what position we were in. I'm trying to give you a visual. And I was like close. You know, like we were just like all horned up. We're on this trip. Like the waves are crashing. You know, like I was like getting there. I think we both were. So we're like getting close.
Okay.
And I swear to God, Rayna, like I was like about to come, and I hear another woman coming from the from the room next door. Rayna, to be almost about to come and then to hear someone else coming. Sparkle Eyes would describe it as a combination of Jennifer Coolidge and a seagull is how it
Jennifer
sounded.
Coolidge coming sound, no.
But also yeah. but Rayna, now do it if she was a seagull. It was awful. It was awful. Why are you
trying to kill me?
Like, I can't imagine screaming like that. It sounds fake. It like reminds me of those couple scenes in Sex and the City where Samantha was just like screaming. Like I'm a louder person. And also if that's what you're into, good for you. You know, you're a screamer. So I was like, oh my God, like we just stop. We're frozen. And I go, oh my fucking God. And then, you know me, like I immediately am like, oh my gosh, what if this is like this our whole trip? This is going to ruin the trip. Like I start spiraling. We stare at each other like stone cold until she finishes.
You stopped having sex until they finished.
And then we started giggling.
Dead.
And then we were just laying there, you know, still being penetrated, just laughing about this. And then we were able to start back up and like finish. But I could not believe it.
This has never happened to me. Once in a while, I'll hear a bed pounding against a wall. And I've heard people when I'm in the hallway of a hotel, but never in the middle of sex. And you were so unlucky she had a bad cum sound. Because if she had a good cum sound, would have made it really hot.
Just what I was going to say. Like, I was thinking to myself, like, if this was like a sexy woman coming, like anything sexy. I told you one time I overheard our friends having sex and I only heard her and I like leaned closer to the door. We were all in the Hamptons. So I was like, what was that?
I hope to have sex with him someday.
So it can turn you on and then you're almost like competing against each other. But it was the least sexy cum sound I've ever heard.
That is so funny.
And that's how we started weekend. And I had to tell you, I was telling him last night, we were on like FaceTiming and I was like, I forgot to tell Rayna the story. I'm going to tell her on the podcast. And he was like, as Rayna would say, it took me right out of it. He like knows your phrases.
Love him.
He goes, what was Rayna say? Oh, it took me right out of it.
Took me right out of it.
It did, but we got back into it. Also, just like to be able to laugh about that is funny. So
Glad you guys had that experience.
thanks.
You know that I like feel sad when I forget to tell you something. And one of the people that we know was talking shit on another person that we know. It doesn't matter. It's inconsequential. I was like, I forgot to tell her the shit talk that they had about each other. Like, I just feel bad when I don't tell you every single thing. And I feel like you get offended. If I'm like, the other day you were like, you didn't tell me this thing about this woman. And I was like, I found out an hour before I told you. And you were like, you didn't text me right away.
Okay, first of all, you did not text me right away. You should. And then second of all, when you told me, you didn't give me enough warning.
I didn't know what to do.
It was upsetting news. And your delivery was not on par with what it should have been for how upset it made me, this thing.
You were like, you didn't tell me. And I was like, I found out an hour before I came to meet you.
I was like an hour too late.
yeah. We should have been in the middle of the conversation.
100%.
Like, let me just FaceTime Ashley.
Yeah,
into
let me
this.
bring Ashley into this.
We are like a couple in that sense. So like, if you tell me something, you just have to assume. I mean, you have to be like, you absolutely cannot tell Ashley. My life will be over, and I'll still probably tell Ashley.
Well, there are, of course, private things, our romantic relationships. Like, we don't share 100% of the things that could be like embarrassing to our partner. Of course, Rain and I have boundaries, of course, but
I don't.
it is funny that you say that because one time Andrew Collin was telling me something and it was just he and I on the phone. And he goes, okay, so this stays between me, you, and Rayna. And like, ever since then, that made me laugh so hard. He just knew.
Sparkle, as I asked him some question that clearly like was instigated by something you had told me about him. It wasn't even anything private. It was like a nothing. And he goes, are you fucking serious? And I was like, do you think I don't know everything? Within reason. We don't really have boundaries. Be realistic.
Well, we'll talk about today.
Boundaries.
Boundaries are overrated. And one more thing. I got a few DMs about this, which it was on my Instagram, but you know, you guys should be following. You should be checking my Instagram before asking me questions. No, I'm just kidding. But people were like, is he a Libra or a Scorpio? People just have to know that stuff. Because when I said when his birthday was, and he is right on the cusp, but he is a Libra.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he was a Scorpio when I first started dating him. And then I found out he was a Libra. And I was like, I was upset. I thought I was dating this like sexy Scorpio. He looks like he would be a Scorpio.
Yeah,
I think
you
it's
and
like the eyes.
You have a million Libra friends. Like, we are attracted to Libras.
No, I know. And I'm so happy about it. And I ran it by Kelly Knight, who's been on the podcast. And she was like, oh my gosh, Libras are like the least problematic in the whole zodiac.
Oh my God.
And he really is like the most balanced, steady person. Like, he really is that person. And so I never really had this love for Libras like I do now. So anyway, people were asking me about that, and don't ask me his moon and rising. We're still trying to work on that. I have not gotten the information I need yet.
We have a crazy amount of Libra friends. Emily, Alana, Anne,
Ashley,
Ashley,
who works for us,
Ryan, who also works for us.
No, Ryan's a Scorpio.
Oh, that tracks.
No. So anyway, if this is intriguing to you, you can look at my Instagram, Ash Hess, and I wrote on our
in your bio what your boyfriend's sign was.
Yes, I wrote his
Sparkle Eyes girlfriend.
Yeah. Wife, mama, faith, family, football. I said Libra men who knew, like, on a post, and like the comments are a lot of like people
cute.
talking
Right.
about it.
Yes, cute.
And very few people even really had anything bad to say. Like, this isn't a thing
Nothing.
in the zeitgeist. Like, who's ever heard anything bad about a Libra man?
Nothing. Not one thing. Well, also my ex who doesn't have a family, also a Libra.
What?
Yes, but you like him now.
I didn't know that. I like him now.
He has Scorpio energy.
Baby J is a Libra. I think, hear me out, Rayna. He doesn't have a family. Who's to know about that birth certificate's at? Like, his mom might have been like, oh, I think you were born. Like, he doesn't, he might not know his birthday. Find me the receipt.
First day of October.
Find me the
receipt.
receipts.
This will work. Honestly, if I pick a birthday, it would be around October 1st. You're not around.
Is that his
any
birthday?
Holidays. Yeah.
His birthday is October 1st.
Yeah.
Fake
also
birthday.
Emily's, also Alana's.
Birthday?
Birthday.
October 1st. It's a total fake birthday for him. His mom was like, October 1st, I think.
Because it's not around any holidays. It's not during the summertime. Like, it's hard for me to plan birthday parties because everybody's away in January. If your birthday is too close to a holiday, nobody will do anything with you.
That's fair.
We have some friends that are born really close or on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And they've
Christmas birthdays. Oof. Well, you know how I feel. I always say, like, Capricorns grow up with this chip on their shoulder because they weren't able to be like celebrated the same way if they have birthdays around the holidays, New Year's and things like that. So much of who you are comes to like what your birthdays were like as kids. I always had those summer birthdays. I would have them at the pool and things like that. But a lot of times so many people couldn't come. They're on summer vacations and things like that. Like, I never got any sort of recognition during the school year. You know, like, kids would have birthdays and cupcakes would come in and stuff like that.
School ended just before my birthday.
Right.
Summer camp started immediately after. No one was around. It was the first week of vacation. Everybody was just taking trips, living their best life.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think a lot of who we are is based on that.
That's why I need so much attention now.
This is why summer birthdays and holiday birthdays.
Ugh. So October it is.
All right.
I have to tell you something funny, but we'll thank our partners first.
Okay. I'm just going to kick it off and tell you guys about Quince. We love Quince so much. They are our go-to place for luxury items at prices within reach. So we are always talking about how this is a great gateway into your quiet luxury wardrobe. If you don't know where to start and you're like, I really want to start dressing, you know, maybe a little more classy, high-end, luxury, neutral even, they have you covered. They have all the capsule wardrobe must-have. So 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters, washable silk tops and dresses, and flattering pants make putting together any outfit that much easier. And their prices are 50 to 80% less than similar brands. And you will see these items and see these prices and ask yourself, what's the catch? But there is none. They only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium eco-friendly fabrics and finishes. So I'm on their website now and just looking at what's new. They also have incredible loungewear. So there's these like knit joggers, and I'm seeing this beautiful cashmere plaid wrap. Oh my gosh, their plaids are so classy, so cute, an amazing rib scarf. They have like some great jackets. I'm like such a slut for jackets. They have this really great trench coat and a great puffer. It looks like there's this fleece shirt dress that's long. Like I'm looking at this. This is like part of like the no pants trend, which is not a new trend for me. We love not wearing pants, but just do this like sweater fleece shirt with just some like high boots or a booty even.
Yeah.
Or I guess if you're into a ballet flat, which that's never going to be me, but do your thing.
Couldn't be me.
You do you. And just their camis are great. These washable stretch silk items. I'm obsessed with the dresses, and I love their silk slip dresses with just a jacket over them. And again, like a boot or booty. Look at these super wide leg pants. Rayna, those look like those pants that like are super viral. They have these incredible wide leg pants. And of course, Quince is going to do it right. Just tuck it into a t-shirt. I mean, they just have incredible stuff. We are obsessed with them. I have so many pieces and I just keep buying more. So we really want you guys to check it out. You can get affordable luxury with Quince. Go to quince.com/GGE to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your order. That's QUINCE.com/GGE for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Okay, and when you're ready to take that Quince clothing off and get into bed, may I suggest Buffy?
Yes, transition.
Buffy makes award-winning bedding that is soft on you and soft on the earth. They use innovative design and earth-friendly material to make bedding that's softer, safer, and also better for our planet. So my bed currently, and all the bedrooms in my house and gifts I give to other people, is the Breeze sheet set and the Breeze comforter. And I do have their duvet cover also. The Breeze sheet set, listen, I don't talk about this a lot, you guys, but I don't have air conditioning in my house and it's a little warm here. And I want to sleep cool, and that has been the best. I cannot believe how soft this is. I lay in bed and I feel like, are these sheets $1,000? Like, if I'm just living in a palace, how can anything feel this good?
I know.
And they're just amazing. So if you like to sleep naked or not, I have started sleeping with a top sheet just to get more Buffy Breeze sheets on my body.
Crazy.
So
Same.
that's my testament.
I'm about that top sheet life.
It's
so crazy.
Mm-hmm. So it's the only thing I'll put on my body. And then if you're looking for something a little bit different, they have the Buffy soft eucalyptus sheets. They are cool and hypoallergenic. They are dyed using natural skin-safe botanical dyes. And there is also unparalleled cool softness with them. I just love it. It's on every bed that I'll ever have forever until the end of time.
100%.
Buffy offers a 7-night at-home trial, so you can experience Buffy before committing to buying it. Shipping is free, and customers also enjoy a 100-night free returns policy. I love the box it comes in, by the way. So if you're gifting this to somebody, it just comes in like a beautiful box.
Amazing gift.
And we will give you guys a little discount. For $20 off your Buffy order, visit buffy.co and enter GGE. That's buffy.co. Promo code GGE for $20 off. I'll just tell you two things that happened. One thing that's funny and one thing you were there for. I don't know what came over me at the Halloween show the other night. You were Beyonce and I was Madonna. And you were like, I have this idea. We'll both do songs and we'll like dance. And I just was like, I watched the video for Like a Virgin. That's who I was, Madonna Like a Virgin. And I was like, there's no dance moves in this. Madonna doesn't do a lot of dance.
She's just not a dancer. Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have like attempted to learn a dance. I'm just not a big dancer. You're like a big dancer. You actually look like you know what you're doing. So I was like, you can have your moment. I don't care. Like, we'll do a song and you can come out and do a dance and I don't need it, because I don't know how to dance.
But what did I say? You're going to want it.
You did say. And also, I don't think you want to like do something that I don't also have access to, but I was fine with it because I thought you would do a good job with it.
But this always comes back to me knowing you better than you know yourself. I was like, you love attention just as much as me.
It's not about attention.
You are going to want to have that solo moment. I know you're going to want it. And I just knew in my heart, I was like, we're going to play a song and she's going to do a thing. And she's going to have no regrets.
I didn't know. And it wasn't about me needing my own. So I was just like, Ashley's a better dancer than me. And she's going to like learn the dance for this. And Beyonce has more moves. And I was fine with it. I get plenty of attention. I show my boobs at every show. I get tons of attention.
That's true.
So I don't know. Tessa like hit the track and I blacked out. I lost my mind. I don't know what happened. I was crawling across the stage.
I mean,
when I hit both of my knees and started crawling across the stage, what did you think?
I just was like, it like went longer than I thought too. Like I was like, she's still going. Oh my God, another 8 count. Oh, another, and here's another one. Oh my God, she's still going. I just didn't want to stop. I was just like trying to hype you. I was up. I was just like, let's go, Rayna! Let's fucking go!
It was an amazing moment for me. I loved it so much.
Like every time I thought you were gonna stop, like you kept going and Tessa. I was like, Tessa, keep playing it. I was like, don't. Like, well, I was just like trying to like mentally be like, don't turn it off. Just let her fly.
Well, I knew there was a moment. I was trying to get to the moment song when I knew everybody was gonna start dancing. They're singing the chorus. But like, singing. I don't know what came over me. I was like on my knees, just jumping up and down. So I got that Charlie horse later on.
You didn't stretch.
I was trying to give this guy a lap dance, and I got a full blown Charlie horse. I had to walk off the stage.
That's so bad. How many times have you had to walk off stage this year? Dude,
I peed my pants. I thought I was going to pee my pants the other night.
So much funny stuff happened at these shows. I mean, every show, but it's just like, we can't even pick a favorite thing. But that was probably my favorite thing, was you crawling across the floor in this outfit. I mean, it just was perfect.
You were proud of me. And I was like, she's so proud of me. She was like, look at her go. And I was just like, I want to make her proud. But I had this interaction with my mom that was like so funny. We just socialize very differently, her and I. We see the world differently. So I was trying to figure out my Thanksgiving plans. My brother lives in London. He's coming into town with my sister-in-law, and I'm like really lucky that her family lives really close to us, like a 15, 20-minute drive. So I don't have to pick like which city I live in. We love her family. I love them, and I've been very close with them for about 13 years. So that's part of the story. Great relationship. Very happy to be a part of their family. And they are just my family at this point. Anything they do, of course, I'm included in it.
Yeah.
So I was trying to coordinate with my mom what I'm going to do, and I'm flying in late on Wednesday. I'm not going to be there, but my dad mentioned to me that Tuesday night, my sister-in-law's family is having like a Thanksgiving dinner at their house. So I was like trying to coordinate flights. So I text my mom trying to just like figure out what she wants me to do. I asked if for Thursday she was inviting my sister-in-law's family. She said yes, and they're also having Thanksgiving on Tuesday. I said, great, let me know if I can help. She said, you can always help, blah, blah, blah. I said, what time are you going to their house on Tuesday, or do you just want me to text my sister-in-law's mom to ask? She said, how did you know I was going there Tuesday?
It's so accusatory. The language.
By the way, there's no beats. Every one of these responses is within 30 seconds of the one before. So 20 seconds ago, she tells me that this is what they are doing on Tuesday. And I say, what time are you going? She says, how do you know I was going there on Tuesday? And I said, because you told me 1 minute ago. I assumed you were going. She said, I just had the info from your brother that she was having it on Tuesday and why. I had not confirmed. What do you mean?
What's happening?
What
here?
else do you got going on that night? My brother lives in London.
How'd you hear about this?
Right.
Where'd you get this number?
Where'd you get? Right. She really hit me with a how'd you find out about this? Like, I don't talk to all of my family members every second. So she's like, I was just informed of this information and why. I said, what time? No idea. Why?
What do you mean why?
This is the dumbest interaction I've ever had with anybody, let alone a smart person. What do you mean, why? Because I was gonna come? I'm just collecting information about where everybody will be all the time that I'm not included in.
Right, like because I want to come and see you, right? Is that the answer?
I said, because I'd like to change the flight and come home. And she said, oh, I see. I'll let you know.
She did not hit you with I'll let you know. We did a whole episode on that.
She's not going to let you know, sis.
She's not going to let you know.
I'm going to let you know.
Your mom's like, oh my God.
And she's so different than my sister-in-law's mom because I was just like, I am done with this ridiculous interaction. I'm just going to go straight to the source.
Straight to the source.
Again, one of my family members of a very long time. So I just texted her and I was like, hey, I heard you're having dinner on Tuesday. I just wanted to check what time it was going to be. And so she calls me immediately. And she's like, hi, I didn't want to bother you. And you're on tour. And I was going to send you a text, but didn't want to be annoying. So this is what of course you're invited. And I was like, yeah, I was going to invite myself. Obviously. I was just going to show up. I didn't really think for 1 second I wasn't invited. It's funny how like different people react to different social situations. Like, I especially like Mediterranean cultures like Jews, Italians, Greek people, like it's just come one, come all.
Totally.
And they're Italian and we're Jewish and everybody's invited to everything all the time.
I love that. Yeah.
So it just made me laugh. That's our family. I'll let you know what happens, you guys, if I go.
Well, that'll be fun. So you are thinking of flying a day earlier and going to that.
Yeah,
that'll be
I'll
nice.
come back a day
and see your
sooner.
brother and stuff.
Yeah, I'll come back a day sooner.
Yeah.
3 nights max.
I know. I'm trying not to fly. That Sunday is such a brutal travel day. Sunday after
I'm
Thanksgiving.
not trying to do that. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Saturday. And also, I don't like missing a farmer's market day.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's so crazy that we were talking about is that like I lived in New York my whole life, 15 years, the Union Square Green Market, one of the biggest and amazing green markets in the country. I lived 2 blocks from it and I never went once. And here I'm like, how many days can I go to a farmer's market?
I mean, it's a different experience. I would go, but like not regularly. I mean, also I was just always walking through there all the time, going to my workout classes, going shopping, whatever. I mean, it's crowded. You know, it can be kind of like a cluster. It's not like a relaxing Sunday like it is in LA.
Thank you. Okay. Also, 50% of the time it's freezing cold.
Right.
Totally. Okay. All right. We got it. We solved the problem.
We solved it. I have to tell you something.
Okay.
As I was parking today,
okay,
I saw your hot neighbor on a bike.
Okay. Was it ick?
And he was wearing a shirt, so
Ew.
it was a bummer all around. But I have concluded that just guys on bikes are an ick. Like on a cruiser, like a racing bike, you're in a stance, you're hunched over. You know, like if you're into that, that's a different vibe than like a beach cruiser where you're sitting upright and you're just like cruising. Because I recently rode bikes with Sparkle Eyes at the beach, and I was like worried. Not worried. I'm not going to get the ick. I am in love with him. But I was like, oh my God, is it going to give me the ick a little bit? And it didn't, but like, it's not sexy.
No.
And I was looking at him like, this isn't sexy to me.
Which is crazy because he is the sexiest person.
He's pretty sexy. And Rayna.
He's so sexy.
Oh, what? Excuse me?
It's crazy how sexy he is. My neighbor?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Sparkle Eyes. I was like, why is she going this hard? Right, Tessa? Did you think that? I'm like, I'm glad you think he's hot, but that's
you
a little
really uncomfortable. And I was like, why are you being defensive about this? He is.
Well, also, I wouldn't care if you said that about my boyfriend, but you doubled down a little too hard.
No, ew, I was talking about my neighbor. I mean, I find your boyfriend very handsome in like a brotherly kind of way.
But anyway, for a minute there, I thought we were both talking about Sparkle Eyes. And then I went too far. I find him very sexy, but I have realized that nobody looks sexy. I don't know. I think women look cute. It's like giving the Notebook. Like I think we look cute, like on beach cruiser style, like sitting upright. Yeah. But I think guys don't. And it was confirmed when I saw your smoke of a neighbor.
Thank you. Also, you were backing down. I was like, has she not seen him lately? He's so hot. Right. Guys on bikes, not cute. I have to tell you 2 things about that. First of all, you got here at 1:40 and I did text him and say, do you want to come to take a walk to Erewhon with me for lunch? And he said, I'm not free until after 1:30. So I'm glad that he's not lying. I'm glad that you confirmed that it was post 1:30 that he left the home.
I saw his alibi.
And then secondly, I was with him for briefly right before we went to Portland, and he had a shirt on.
Boo.
I rarely see him like that. And I got back to my house. I was like, was his hair a different color? Or was it always that color?
Right. Okay. Yes. His hair. I just saw it.
And I was like, I genuinely don't know because he's never had clothes on. So I've never looked that high on his body. And I was like, is it really possible I've never looked at the color of his hair? Men don't really dye their hair.
Right.
I mean, he's young. He's not like dyeing it for grays.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have a weird question. Did you dye your hair? And he was like, I did. I just wanted to like see how it looked. And I was like, I've literally never seen you with a shirt on. So I've like never looked that high up on your head. So yeah, anyways.
Yeah, I did see it now. Yeah, I was like, oh, his hair is darker. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying. And I had like a wonderful time and felt like so attracted to like the experience of like riding bikes with my partner. But like I've come to the conclusion that no guy is going to be like sexy on a bike. Probably no person. I'm over here just thinking that women look cute doing everything, but
they are cute doing everything.
Yeah.
What about like extreme mountain biking?
Tessa felt that one coming on. Okay, so
the way you laughed at that.
Guess who does mountain biking? Ryan.
I wasn't going to talk about him.
Okay. Let's dive in. There are 3 types of stances, right? You're upright, beach cruising, like you're hunched all the way over, bent in half, biking Lance Armstrong. And then there's like this midway between, but you're like going hard. Like I think a guy that's really mountain biking and he's able to handle the bike and go through all that is fine and sexy. And I think mountain biking is like a cool thing for a guy to do. It is terrifying to me.
It's hard for me to watch the videos.
And I'm like a biker. I love biking, but there's something, oh my gosh, like going downhill fast speed, there's rocks, there's like woods. I can't.
It's really stressful to me to watch.
He's always banged up.
He's always, even when he like sends me videos of it and I know he survived, I'm like, I'm watching the videos being like, be careful.
Yeah.
Don't do anything bad to yourself.
So I think if you're mountain biking, I think it's hot. If you're timid, I can't. I can't.
Timid biker?
A timid biker or a timid driver. Nothing is more.
Wait,
more
what was that, Nick? You try to merge into traffic.
They won't let you.
You can't find a parking spot.
So obviously Sparkle Eyes is like, listen to the episode and he's a really great driver. He's taking his car to the racetrack. He drives a manual, whatever. We're car people. He's a car guy. But I just feel like ever since the episode, now every time he tries to merge and he like doesn't get in immediately, he's like, oh no. He's like, I can feel you getting the ick. Like he drove to Malibu and back and I feel like he was like, let me in. Like I can feel the panic setting in that I'm like, you're ick proof. Don't worry about it. But that was gross.
It's gross. He did something else the other day. You said you the ick. Did you trip?
He got cold.
Oh, he got
It did not give me the ick. I can't stress it enough. But yeah, he said he was cold and I was like, ew.
And you're like, let's never tell Rayna about this. It's gross. She won't think you're sexy anymore.
Rayna, for a second there, I was like, it's too much.
You were like, he's okay. And I was like, is she talking about my neighbor? What's happening?
I didn't say he's okay. I think he's the sexiest. I hate this. Okay. Okay, one quick thing. I wanted to give a rec for my new favorite show.
It's really your whole personality.
I can't stop talking about it. I talked about it like 2 out of 3 of the live shows. And our publicist, Ala, originally told us about the show. And as she was explaining it to us at a lunch in New York, I could not believe what she was saying.
You couldn't wait to leave the lunch.
I could not. And it's Naked Attraction. It's on Max, but it's like a British show. It's not like an HBO original. This would never come out of the US. It's just too much nudity.
No.
It's people that are getting matched up and they meet. There's one like dater and it's like they have straight women, straight men, bi, and gay. Like they have all types of people. It's very inclusive. But if it's like a straight woman, for example, like me or you, and she wants to date a man, she's in front of like 5 guys that are all in these like pods and they're all different colors. So you kind of like can pick the people out and name them by their color, like blue, green, whatever. And she's standing there with the host. I love the host. There's no gig I want more in the world than to host this show. And basically they lift up the front door of the pods just to above their dick and they turn around. They can jiggle their ass if she wants them to. And they show their like full dick. I mean, it's soft, but you know.
That was my first question was, are they hard?
Close up. You know,
you think they drew the line at hard dicks?
It's a little weird, like how they get there. They're jerking off before the door flies up.
What else were they doing in there?
I don't know. Listen, the thing about the show is it's all this nudity, but it feels really well done and classy. I actually...
naked people in a box. And it's like they raise up this thing, you see their dicks, you're like, it's really classy and well done.
I'm telling you guys gotta watch it. I actually messaged Christina P because we were on your mom's house and Christina and I got talking about how much we love talking about dicks and dicks are crazy. They're just so fascinating. Totally. And she was like, I could do a whole podcast on dicks. I was like, I'll co-host it. So we got talking about dicks. So I thought of her and I messaged her like, I need to know if you're watching this show. And she was like, it's not horny enough for me. So I'm saying they like,
there's not enough hard dicks for her. Okay.
It's not even that. I mean, again, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but like, it's weirdly doesn't feel that sexual.
I see what you mean.
Even though they're talking about what kind of dick do you like in the bedroom, it's like something about it doesn't feel that sexual. And then they give all these stats throughout. Like I want to start exploring like some of these stats that they give. I like learning stuff. It's like one thing that said like 86% of women in a study prefer girth over length. Women with larger labia experience more pleasure. It was something about like guys that like have bigger balls can be better fathers. There's all these like crazy stats and like studies that they give throughout. It's just like a great show with a lot of information. So anyway, lift it up. They show the dick. She sends one guy home. Based on that alone, he has not spoken. She doesn't know anything about him. And when they send a guy home, you see his whole body face. And they're like, this is Lance. He's a computer programmer from Berlin. Bye, Lance.
Okay, so that guy went on TV, did not find love. Everyone in the world has seen his soft dick and he gets sent home.
Precisely.
If you're the guy who got sent home out of 6 guys?
I know.
For your dick only, that is so humiliating.
I know,
his face.
But it's also not necessarily because it was like the smallest one. And you know what? I think women are so much more in tune to like women will be like, I didn't like his stance. Like, you know what I mean? Like the way he's standing gave her the ick.
I picked the guy. I knew who she was going to pick. The hottest guy I knew from his dick, from the way he was standing.
Yes. And there's so many tattoos. Like everybody has tattoos. And the one guy sent a girl home because she didn't have a pedicure. He was like, I'm just a foot guy. And like, for some reason, she has her nails done, but not her feet, and went home because of that.
That's me.
The guys are way less discerning about the vaginas. Like, because there's like teeny tiny little vaginas, and then there's like big pussies, there's innies, there's outies, and the guys don't give a fuck. It's nice to watch that too. Because you think about your vagina, you watch the show, you're like, wait, does mine look like that? Is mine smaller? Is mine bigger? And then you watch these guys be like, I'm not thinking about that shit. So it's nice. It like almost weirdly, the people walk away from the show and they're like, this was such an actual positive experience about my body. So anyway, I'll wrap this up. They bring it up higher to right under the neck. So now you see their chest, their muscles, or lack thereof, their stomach, their arms. And then she sends one more person home. Then they bring it up to the face, one more person home. And then that's 2 people left. Whatever. Then they speak. You hear their voice, and then it comes down to 2 people. And then when she's down to 2 people to choose between, then she has to walk out naked. So then they're all 3 standing there butt naked. And every time the woman walks out, I'm like, I'm blown away because the women's bodies are they're beautiful. I don't know what it is. You're just like, you didn't expect that. And I don't know, for some reason, when the guys walk out naked, I'm never as impressed as like the woman walks out and you're like, damn, she's sexy. And the guys' jaws drop. And then she picks one person, they go on a date in clothes, and then they show the date briefly, and then they kind of reconvene on like after to talk about the date. Are they still seeing each other? Are they going to go out again? That kind of thing. And then that's it. And it's quick. And they do 2 people per show. And it's usually 2 people of different genders or sexual orientations. And again, I love the host so much. I believe she's bisexual. And she just is like, it's just fun. And I feel like I've seen so many dicks. I'm seeing dicks on the show. Like, I didn't even know dicks look like that.
Well, that's why I would watch it, to look at the vaginas and the dicks.
The vaginas and the dicks. I know. And like what people are doing, people's piercings. Like, I'm just enthralled by it. And I'm learning so much. Anyway, Naked Attraction, that's what I'm into. And I'm just like obsessed with The Golden Bachelor. It is so heartwarming. I feel like it's almost too much to handle, like watching these like older women like go through like heartbreak as they're getting closer to the end and some are getting sent home. I like feel it really in my soul. It's like, it's really such a sweet show. These women have all really gotten along with each other, and he's such a nice guy. And so I've just been loving The Golden Bachelor, but I'm like, I feel like it's going to break my heart. Like, I think that they're going to find love and it's going to be great, but like there's something that hits different. Of
of course. Those people aren't on the show for Instagram followers.
Yeah,
you
right.
know? And like sell Sugar Bear hair care gummies.
And they're all they're genuine. They're not fighting. You know, they're like mature women. They've been through a lot. And I don't know. It's hitting me in like a different way. Obviously, that's not a hot take. So anyway,
we're just going to thank a couple of our partners.
Okay. I am going to tell you about HelloFresh. Okay. This is one thing I wanted to share. For the first time last week, I made HelloFresh tofu.
Oh, I love tofu.
I love a lot of their vegetarian and vegan dishes. I've done all their proteins. Like, I usually stick to beef or chicken, and I never did their tofu. I did this vegan sweet and savory tofu bowls. Unbelievable.
I love a tofu bowl.
I took so much care in making that tofu because tofu can burn so easily, and then it's like chewy. And like
takes
gross.
On whatever, flavor.
Yeah,
of the
so
burnt pan.
I really watched it. I did it perfectly. It had these like pickled cucumber and sesame scallion rice. It was an unbelievable meal. So I am obsessed with HelloFresh, and the holidays are right around the corner, and HelloFresh can help take the stress out of dinner by delivering everything you need to cook up tasty meals right to your door, saving you tons of time. Go to HelloFresh.com/GGE-free and use code GGE-free for free breakfast for life, 1 breakfast item per box while the subscription is active. So I love this. Like, this can really save you a lot of time over the holidays. They have these 15-minute meals. They're going to be quick fixes. You can get a wholesome meal on the table in less time than it takes to get delivery. I have like one of those this week. I have these vegan curry spice chickpea salad wraps, which I could do for lunch or for a really yummy dinner. I have this 1-pan beef enchilada verde. I like when they tell you if it's going to be easy prep, easy cleanup, 1 pan, obviously so easy to just wash 1 pan when you're done with it. And you can always choose from over 45 weekly recipes and over 100 curated picks from the HelloFresh market. We love the market. That's where you're going to see all kinds of things. Of course, they have the breakfast, the quick lunches, there's snacks, there's stuff for entertaining. And again, just the traditional meals. They come ready to cook, recipe card, everything that you need to make a delicious meal in literally as little as 15 minutes. My meals are usually like 25, 30 minutes, but we love everything that they do. Just really get in there. I use the app all the time. Their app is great. You can always pause a week or skip a delivery, or if you need to get it sent somewhere else, whatever it is, it's super easy to do all of that. And we are obsessed with it. Go to HelloFresh.com/GGE-free and use code GGE-FREE for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while the subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/GGE-FREE with code GGE-FREE.
Okay. And if you are a longtime listener of the podcast, you know I've been taking AG1 for years. They've been a partner for years. I absolutely love it. It has been the easiest way for me to have a healthy habit every single day that I can stick to. So I put 1 scoop of AG1 in about 12 ounces of cold water after I work out. And it just helps me to feel like I'm doing something really amazing for my body. And even days that I don't work out, I just love it. And I know I've done something good for myself. And that's because AG1 is a foundational nutritional supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, and immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. So it does all kinds of things. They support gut health, digestive enzymes. It is really the perfect multivitamin. There are prebiotics, probiotics, and digestive enzymes for gut support, magnesium and B vitamins for energy support, all kinds of great stuff in there. I really encourage you to just read about all the benefits of it. I just love how I overall feel more energized. They say that it can lower your stress levels. It's great for gut health. And again, it's just a really easy way to incorporate something into my daily life that's good for me. AG1 is the supplement I trust to provide the support my body needs daily. And that's why they've been a partner for so long. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs. Those are really fantastic when we go on the road, by the way. With your first purchase, go to drinkag1.com/GGE. That's drinkag1.com/GGE to check it out. We have a couple Rex reviews. I know people want me to talk about the Britney Spears book. I haven't read it yet. Tessa has it, so Tessa's going to read it. I'm going to tell you a funny anecdote. So I was like, people keep DMing me asking me to review A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm like, I'm reading it. I'm into the 3rd book. I like it. I don't know how else to review it. I like it. Clearly, I like it. So I was talking to Tessa, and I was like, to be honest, I think she just took all the best parts of like Harry Potter and the Hunger Games and like Game of Thrones and just combined it into one book. No offense. I think she's a great writer and I like reading her books, but the concepts are very similar to all of those books to me. And I said, I think she just took all the best parts of those books. And Tessa goes, like, when you come out with like a new vibrator, aren't you just taking all the best things from other toys that came before it? And I was like, I like blacked out for a second and we went back and forth. I was trying to explain to her why she's wrong. And I was like, no. So when we design a new vibrator, we take everything in the category, we like lay it on the table and we say like, this shaft is too long, this is too pointy, this is hard to hold. We take all the best stuff and we like combine it and we make a new toy. And she's like, isn't that what this author did? And I was like, no, it's literary stealing. And she's like, it's not really stealing. She took all the best stuff and combined it. And I was like, don't you feel like that's kind of ripping people off? And she was like, you don't feel like you're ripping people off.
Well, Rayna, isn't that like
different?
Isn't that even like TV shows? You're like, I don't know, the show is kind of like Sex and the City mixed with Insecure, for example. Like, I don't know. It's just everything's like still pulling from other things.
Tess is pointing at you like she's right.
Tess like, burr, burr, burr. Nothing's like, original anymore.
It's true. Like, I don't claim that we invented the rabbit vibrator, but I like the Allison that we sell. And I think we took all the best parts of those and made a combined thing. And Tess is like, that's literally what she did. She took all the good stuff and left out all the bad stuff and made a new book.
There's no more 100% original ideas out there. So something is always coming from something else.
Tessa's like, she took all the good stuff and put it in one place. You're welcome.
Isn't that what we did with this podcast?
Yeah. No, we are literally the originals. We are the first women to ever talk about sex and dating, and we do it the best.
We do it the best.
My feeling is that if you're not going to add anything new to the conversation, what are we doing here? And I think we do that with our vibrators. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, Tessa, it was a very funny
That
analogy.
Is so funny.
We have 2 more Recs for you guys, and then we're going to get into our topic. Just 2 comedy specials we really wanted to hype. The first is our friend and a guest of the show many times, Heather McMahon. She has her first comedy special on Netflix out. It's called Son I Never Had. And we just think she's so one of a kind. She's really special and funny and unique. And I love her command of the stage. And she's just so fun to watch.
Yeah, she really is different. And I think there's just a lot of sameness out there. And she really stands out to me. And I'm not a huge person that like watches comedy specials because I really just like it live. You know, like us being live performers, me being a comedian, like just nothing ever hits the same. You know, we've seen comedy specials being taped and we're like, oh my God, the energy in that room. And then you watch it and it's just whatever. It's just 2-dimensional. It's a little flatter. And she just commands that stage, like you said. And I love her storytelling. You know, I have taken a little bit of a time off right now from stand up as we're touring, and it's just a lot. I have a lot to balance in my life, and I'm not quitting, but I've just kind of taken a little bit of a break, and it inspired me to really lean into more of my stories, because that's more of what I am better at. And I have like jokes and punchlines and observations, but I am more of a storyteller. Those are my best bits. And it just reminded me that like you can just do that, you know, like she's so incredible, and it's all stories, you know. And like my favorite story is like about my dad, you know, and that's my closer when I was touring. And she is so much about her dad. I mean, different situation. Her dad has passed, and this special really felt like it was dedicated to him, obviously. But it was a good reminder to me, like you can do it this different way. You don't need to do joke punchline. You can build a whole career on amazing storytelling and unique stories that other people haven't had at all. And I loved it so much. Like my favorite part was probably when she was talking about studying abroad. And she said like her sister was like running like military drills in the backyard. She was like nunchucks, and then she was like, and my dad told me like, Heather, you're gonna be just fine. Because the whole thing is that she's like bigger and she's got these shoulders, and just I laughed so hard with the military drills in the backyard, and her dad being like, you're gonna be fine when you study abroad. Like I don't want to give too much away, but I loved it. I was captivated the whole time.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a good point. I love storytelling. That is my favorite bits of yours, and it's my favorite comedians tell long stories. I don't need joke punchline. I can enjoy a little bit of it, but like Nate Bargatze is one of my favorite comedians. He just talks about his wife and his daughter all the time. Like that's his whole thing. He's like a clean comic. He just makes me laugh because they're like just these long stories.
She says, I also like Heather because she's not clean, and like she says like pussy and fuck, and like I love a woman that can just like say pussy like with her whole chest. And early in the special, she says something about your pussy feeling heavy.
Yeah,
she's like, it's full. It's not, you don't know what it's full of, but it's heavy. And I was like, I feel this, like that feeling. And our friend Mike Feeney, who has also been a guest on the podcast, one of our very funniest episodes early on, has a new special out.
June of 2019, I think is what it was. Okay. One of those, the hardest I ever laughed on the podcast. Yes. He is an amazing New York City comedian, and he has a new special out on YouTube.
Yes, it is Mike Feeney, A Night at the Comedy Cellar. So he's obviously at the Comedy Cellar, just the best comedy club. It's in New York, and it's 20 minutes. It's an easy watch. It's so funny. I've just loved watching him come into his own and release this. His crowd work is hilarious. He's also unique. Like he's a person I can think of his jokes, you know, they don't feel like everyone else's jokes, and he's just really different. He has such a good presence and such a good energy, and he has like very funny like physical comedy bits throughout, and he's just brilliant and so funny, and I love watching it. And he's really blown up on social media with this like welcome to whatever city, and he does like a starter pack, and that's gone super viral on TikTok, and his special is wonderful. We love it.
Yeah. All right,
and you can just watch that for free on YouTube.
So lots of homework for you guys to watch.
Okay, so let's get into it. We are talking about, are you overcorrecting in dating?
Yes. And this came about from this viral post on Instagram that we'll talk about. But basically, we started talking about all this advice we're constantly seeing on TikTok and Instagram with rules and lists and boundaries to draw with everybody that you start dating and relationships. And I have thought for years, are we overcorrecting? Of course, Ashley and I really believe in protecting yourself and having boundaries and feeling healthy and protected. But there's just so many like, don't talk to him if he does this. Don't ever go out with them if they do that. And it's just, at some point, you're going to be like, wait, why am I alone? It's like, because you wrote everybody off because there's no one left in the dating pool. And I think that it's important to be able to differentiate between like real red flags and deal breakers. And am I just writing every person off for every single thing?
Yeah. I think that we're all for knowing what you want and what you don't want and having healthy boundaries, protecting your energy. But we couldn't help but wonder, have we gone too far?
Go off, Carrie.
Like Rayna said, it was this first date list that just went totally viral. This was like, I think I saw the original video that prompted this, was this woman, and it was funny, but she was with this guy who was going to take her to Cheesecake Factory. And she was like live documenting the whole thing. Did you not see this? So it was basically this woman on this first date with this guy, and he pulled into the Cheesecake Factory, and she pulls out her phone and starts documenting the whole thing. And he comes around to like open her door, and she's like, no, I'm not going, like whatever. And so I think that started this whole list.
You know why I couldn't watch it? Because I don't believe in anything that says bad words about
Cheesecake Factory. I know.
It's my favorite place in the world. Can't watch it.
Yeah, that's an attack on you. But I'll just run through the list really quick. Number 1 is Cheesecake Factory. So I think, again, that's how this is prompted. Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, Olive Garden, the movies, your house, any fast food chain, Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, Red Lobster, a buffet, IHOP, Denny's, the gym, church, definitely, Starbucks, coffee dates, ice cream dates, family functions, movie night, Netflix, Hulu, etc. I like that they specified. Somewhere that requires a long drive, bowling, nightclubs, hookah bar, a bar just for drinks, Waffle House, and sports events.
What is left?
So when I first started reading this, I'm like, okay, chain restaurants. When I got to coffee dates, and then when I got to ice cream dates, and then a lot
sporting events.
Buy
me a ticket to any sporting event.
And then a bar just for drinks is like crazy to me.
Insane.
So I don't know the originator of this and like how they compiled it. I'm not really trying to drag anybody. Like, I'm sure someone just thought it would be fun to crowdsource this.
Yeah, it's funny.
And see what people said, but it went super viral, so we're going to talk about it. Those are the main ones, like the coffee date, the ice cream date. I mean, sometimes you're sober. Sometimes you just want to meet a person, see what they're about. Like, you know, we've always said you could get a coffee and take a walk or whatever. And then like the bar just for drinks like blew my mind. I mean, I don't know. I probably wouldn't want someone taking me to one of those chain places on a first date, unless it was like some funny thing. Like if a guy took you to the Cheesecake Factory on the first date because they listen to this podcast and they know it's your favorite restaurant, that's your man.
I would love it. That would be my person. There was one other place that
sports events you hated.
An incredibly expensive day out together. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
There's also nuance to this too, where I wouldn't go to a football game with a stranger and be locked in for 3 hours. Who knows where the rationale came from. I mean, some of these are crazy. Family functions, obviously, you know.
Movie date at home. I'm probably not going to somebody's house
on
a
buffet.
First date.
Depends on the buffet.
What's the buffet?
What's our place in Denver?
Oh, ABBA.
No, not ABBA. ABBA is Austin and Chicago.
Safta.
Yeah.
Well, ABBA means father and Safta means grandmother. I took Hebrew for so many years. I don't remember.
That breakfast brunch buffet at Safta, I'll go there on a first date.
It's like $75.
It's not the Golden Corral,
right?
But they're probably
also,
talking.
I would do that. As just jokes. Also, I don't know where these people live. 70% of the country doesn't live in LA and New York City and have access to a million new American, cool, hip, fun restaurants. Like some people, this is all you got.
100%. I mean, yeah, like I'm thinking of, I remember my high school boyfriend, he took me to Red Lobster. I was like, how rich are you?
Literally, are you the richest person alive?
So the Shade Room posted it, and I did like the first comment. A few of the top comments, the first one said, I can honestly say that the majority of women don't think like this. Someone said, this is why y'all are single. And then someone said, please don't speak for all of us, because personally, if I'm meeting a person and they happen to be from an app, I'll choose a nice public place like a coffee place or Starbucks, just so I know if they are who they say they are. Also, Waffle House, Denny's, IHOP, Chili's, Applebee's are great first dates. The holidays are coming. Maybe people want to save money. I love breakfast food, so just the thought of sitting down and having a conversation while enjoying good food is all that I need. With this mentality, it's really sad y'all are ruining the dating game for some of us that can find joy in the simple things. I mean,
we don't take this too seriously, by the way.
100%.
It's just, to us, it's a metaphor for like, we can't just be writing every person off for everything.
Yes.
I think about the people I've really loved the most deeply in my life. And if I had written them off for really small things, I would have missed out on a lot of really good experiences. And I also don't want these things to apply to me either. And I was talking to somebody who said to me, like, this is a very niche example, but he said, like, I would never go out with a girl who has a photo of her on her Instagram of getting stripped on. And I was like, but there's 20 layers to this. It's not like I went to a strip club solo.
And then took pictures.
Right. I'm on stage. There's thousands of people there. It's fun for everybody. No one's pants are off. There's no body parts out. It's all in good fun. I also was single when I did those things. Like, also, I don't need to justify anything.
Yeah.
But there's layers to everything. So, like, I don't want somebody to apply these hard, fast rules to me either, because I am a layered, nuanced person, just like everybody.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I shudder to think of, had I written off my now partner, which I don't even know what that would be. You know, I don't want to say that he did some crazy thing, but you know, there were a few things like early on that I was like, first of all, I didn't expect this person to live across the country for me. You know, I didn't think I wanted someone that was younger. You know, I thought I wanted this like kind of different type of person, maybe in terms of like what I was sharing that I wanted with the matchmaker and things like that. And, you know, there was just little things like that. He's been so wonderful. He's just been more incredible than I could have ever imagined. But I guess there was a couple times early on where I was like, I didn't think I was going to be with him. I thought we were maybe going to hook up on the road. So I had to reframe how I even viewed him in my own mind to be like, wait a minute, I'm going to date this person. Like, so Anyway, I say that just to always come back to my quote, like it may not look like what you thought it was going to look like. I think about that with my ex too, who I don't regret that relationship at all. I was in love with him. You know, that relationship taught me so much about myself and relationships and the world. And so I don't regret it at all, even though it, you know, had a lot of ups and downs and it ended. But those first few weeks with him, I was like, absolutely not. Oh my God, I cannot be with this guy. And then I just let it go. And so I literally shudder to think, like, what if I would have gotten in my head about some of those things?
Or some things are real boundaries or they're just somebody being alive. And you were on Eli Rallo's podcast and she said this thing, and we can play the clip. But so one of the things you talked about on the podcast is just these really viral lists of things never to do or always to do. And they have these very hard, fast rules. So I'll come back to that, but we'll play the clip first.
Yeah, I loved her conversation. She articulated what I was trying to say so much better than I could. I think she's so brilliant. And it's a compliment to us also, which I was super flattered by, but the way that she put it. So we'll just play it. It's like a minute long.
Yeah, I think the other thing that's really comforting about your podcast in like the grand scheme of other dating content is like a lot of people that talk about dating on the internet say, these are the things you have to do when you're dating, or here's what absolutely to never do. People really like those like hard yes, hard no.
Okay,
type of vibe, but
you're
I hate
like,
it.
yes,
I hate
you're
it.
better at like describing this than me, actually. That's exactly what I'm talking about, is like these rules and these lists and these things that are super like marketable and like shareable, but they're not real life and they're not really how humans are. So that's exactly it. I'm glad you kind of that's what I'm talking about.
It also makes me feel like sometimes I'll see something like that and the person will say something like not to do that I definitely did. And I've been in a relationship for almost 3 years and we live together, and it like kind of breaks my heart because I'm like, it makes me feel like I failed. But your podcast and the way you guys talk about dating, the way you talk about dating makes me feel like there's always an exception to the rule. You guys might be giving advice, but you'll always like, you're just so like encouraging and open about those kinds of things and like open to nuance and like difference in opinion. And like, you guys kind of like aren't afraid of that. Whereas like other people, it's like, is this even dating content or is this just like viral? Like, you know, it'll go viral. You know what I mean?
So I think she was so well said. I want to say two things, and I do want to tie it back to what you were talking about Sparkle Eyes. So first of all, it's so interesting to me that there's these like lists of like, do this, because dating advice is the most one size fits one thing in the world to me, because we all have different goals, right? Like, we say all the time, we don't really want children. So we date in a different way than somebody that does want children dates and has different boundaries. And I don't think that you can take a piece of dating advice and apply it to the general public unless the advice is just like, be safe, feel protected, have boundaries where you feel comfortable. Like, other than that, dating advice can't apply to everybody because nobody's the same. And on top of that, you and I see these lists that are like, do this thing because it goes so crazy. And I see people saying them, and I'm like, do you even believe this? This is so hard and fast. And the thing that I tie to Sparkle Eyes about is like, he is 7 years younger than you. And it's a significant age gap. It's not 1 or 2 years. And I think there's content on the internet that's like, never date a younger man. I'm not trying to babysit. I'm not trying to raise a man. I'm not trying to pay for everything. What do you, like, I think that there's like, I've seen stuff like that. That's just like, what are you, crazy? And it's just, nothing could be further from the truth.
Well, it's like, yeah, that's clearly not our dynamic. But also there's this like, only date younger guys, you know, on the flip side. And it's like, people are projecting their own life experience, their own thoughts and opinions. And I think that like, they're not taking the human experience into account.
Right.
And yes, you're right. Like, Rayna and I've said this before, and I don't want to be repetitive to our bad dating advice episode, which we did recently. And I don't know if we fully unpacked this, but like, there's people I see out there that like, they're getting a lot more likes and shares and downloads and attention than maybe we are for whatever reason, and they're blowing up. And I'm like, I could just never do that. I'm not naming any names, but I'm just like, that's not authentic to me. Like, when you see that, because it really is content that is really popular, that is really going to blow up, there's a reason.
I see a lot of these people give this advice, and I don't know what their background is either. So like you said, they're shooting from their own life experience, and I don't have their life experience. So if somebody comes from like a ton of money and they don't want kids either, and they're like, write everybody off for every single thing. And it's like, well, I don't date like you do because I want kids, or because I didn't grow up with an endless financial net. I do need to look for somebody that can help me financially and meet me halfway. Like, I can't date like you and just write every person off for every single thing.
Yeah. And listen, Rayna and I still can't be like inclusive to every single type of person in the world all the time too. We're still speaking from our experience, but I think we try our best to be like, But hey, if that doesn't work for you, or that's not your life experience, or that's not how you feel, like I think that the nuance is so important. And I think that you really have to get some of these lists and rules and other people's preferences out of your mind when you're dating and like decipher, does this thing or this behavior actually lead me to believe they're a bad person, or they're manipulating, or they're lying, or is it because someone else on the internet found it unattractive? You know, and also like, what are their credentials?
Right. Is this just somebody just talking? And
yeah, which is also fine. Like if it resonates with you, it resonates. Like, I don't know who said that thing of like, the one thing is that they have to be sure about you. It's like, I don't know that that was any sort of dating expert, but that resonates. Like, I'm not saying that. Rayna and I don't have degrees. I think that we are full-blown experts. This is our business. We've been doing this for 5 years. We've interviewed everybody in every area of a relationship. So we have so much information. We've read all the books. We have so many different schools of thought. Like, I think we're better than a lot of people that only have one path that they've been down in some ways. So I know that we're experts in this and we're super credentialed, but that also doesn't have to be that. You know, some people can just be really smart. They see the world in a specific way. I think Jared is one of the best people out there giving dating advice, and he's not claiming to have any sort of degree in it too. And so there's something to be said for that too. But I think like, don't put all your eggs in the basket of someone that's just talking.
yeah. And I think sometimes people can just say things with enough confidence that you're just like, should I be doing that? Like even Jared and I go back and forth about stuff where he's like, absolutely not, never do that. And I'm like, I'm fine with it. I feel fine with it. It's worked out for me. That's your experience. That's how you see the world or people you're dating. That's not my experience. I think he's great and so smart and usually right. But I don't always agree with him. And so like, you don't have to take every piece of dating advice. The thing that you saw that said like, you just have to be with somebody that's sure about you, it didn't resonate with me as much, but it really resonated with you. And it helped you to sort of like decipher the nonsense. And so I just think that like some people, like Eli said, or I don't know if you said that in that clip, but like they feel like there's something wrong with me because like I'm not adhering to all this.
I was just going to say that. Like she has a great relationship. She's been with this guy for 3+ years. And she's like, I didn't do all that. I mean, when I went on her podcast, I also applied this conversation to like when to sleep with someone. It's like, come on. We're not going to hammer this again. We talk about this all the time. Like,
but we still get asked it constantly. Like people want the rules and we're just like,
there's no rules.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, there's not. I don't have to say. Ray and I both had relationships with people that we had sex with the very first night. So
the hour we met sometimes. So I think that we've gone a little far, and it's good to just remember that like while a lot of this is well intentioned, it is also very clickable. And that's why people post it. And if it's like good advice, you take something from it, great. But like, I don't know. I don't think we can all date with like every single boundary in place and every single rule. And I only do these things. And it's so rigid because all we do is just write everybody off in the world. And I would not want those things turned on me either.
Yeah. Like everything can't be a red flag. Everything can't be an ick. We talked about this obviously with Jared, with the icks, like have we gone too far? Everything can't be a deal breaker. And if you're just scrolling TikTok or you're consuming all this content day in, day out, it gets in your brain. And I do it too. Like get me in a TikTok dating device rabbit hole. I'll be there for hours. Like this is not, don't do it. But let's just remember, like, take it back old school and just like, does this person make you feel good? You know, are they treating you right? You know, also people are not hardwired from the moment you meet them. They change and they evolve. They figure out, yes, they figure out what you want. They get new information. They grow up. They mature. So you could have someone that upon meeting them, they were different than the person they end up to be weeks later, months later, years later too.
That really is so true. And also oftentimes they're just trained by the last person they dated.
Yes, 100%.
And I think a lot of this advice is very early relationship, like early stage relationship, like where they take you on a first date, how often they text you, how often they check in with you. Like, it's like, if he's not doing this thing, he's not into you. If he's not doing this thing, he's not good enough for you. And it's like, sometimes he's just doing the thing that the last girl liked. Yeah. So for me, like a boundary of mine is like when I have plans with somebody, I want to hear from you that day. I want to reconfirm that day. If you don't reconfirm with me, I assume that you are not coming. You are a stranger and I'm not going to just show up. But other people would be like, I made a plan and I'm an adult and I'm showing up like an adult.
Yeah.
And that's what the last person they dated liked. And so they're not going to check in with you the day of. I don't like it. It's not for me. That's a boundary for me. And I'll teach you how to treat me.
Yeah. And like, the Cheesecake Factory, like
the best restaurant ever.
Like, first of all, not all Cheesecake Factories are created equal. The Cheesecake Factory in Atlanta was one of the reasons I moved there. Like, I couldn't even believe it. It would be like rappers and athletes and just the fanciest cars pulling in and out of the place. Like, if you would have brought me there at 22 on a first date, I would have been blown away. So why, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shouldn't be a red flag.
Maybe that person doesn't know what you like. And so like, I'll pick a place with a 48-page menu.
And also one that's in a mall. We get to walk around the mall afterwards. A little old school Friday night date, hand in hand.
You guys, I love it so much there.
But I understand the sentiment, you know what I mean? Like, it's this chain restaurant. But for me, I've always said, like, a stranger from an app or whatever, like, I don't really want to sit down for a dinner in the first place. So I'm going to the bar just for drinks.
Totally.
And we said this before, like the cheap date thing. Like, I love the idea of just getting a coffee, taking a walk in the park. That's so romantic to me. That's like, we don't know each other yet. Let's even see if you look like your photos.
Absolutely. I've also seen a lot of divided advice, very specific, hard advice about like first dates with friends. If he invites you out with his friends, you are just a friend. He's
Right.
And then you have other people that are like, how cool is it that he wants to
Yes.
like include you in something? It's lower maintenance. Like if somebody was like, I have tickets to a football game, I'm going with a bunch of friends. Do you want to come?
Yeah.
I'm more inclined to do that than a solo like football game date. And I think that's cool and fun. But like other people would be like, he just sees you as a friend. Some people would say that's the best thing ever.
Totally.
If it's not a boundary for you, it's fine. We just can't just be out here writing everybody off for every fucking thing.
I know. And I think about this, you know, I don't know how deep people get into like astrology too. You know, someone's on the internet being like, if he's a Gemini and his name is Brian, he will murder you in your sleep. If his name is Kevin and he works in finance, watch out. He is going to ruin your life. It's just like, and then it seeps into your brain. And you're like, wait a minute. Oh my God, I just met this guy named Kevin. He works in finance. But I saw that TikTok that had 8 million likes and I just don't know or whatever. And we talked about this with also some of the terms like gaslighting and narcissists that are just completely overused. And Nick Vile was like, yeah, the internet won on that. You know, the internet won, they took over. And it is so nice to have this information. We say all the time, like, I wish we would have had a podcast like ours to listen to when we were a lot younger, or someone like Dr. Ramani disseminating all this information for free on the internet. You know, like all these resources we have to recognize these certain behaviors, but it has also been kind of an overcorrection. Like everyone is not a narcissist. Like everyone is not gaslighting you. And even something as little as ghosted, like I feel like people use that word wrong, where it's like ghosted means they disappeared.
Yes, they didn't blindside you. They ghosted you.
I don't want to sound like we're coming down on people. I just think we get really fired up about this because we have compassion for people that are putting too much weight on this and then feel like they're doing something wrong.
Totally. I mean, first of all, I think that overusing clinical, like psychological terms like narcissist and gaslighting robs people that have actually been through that of their experience.
Yeah.
I do think sometimes, yes, of course, sometimes people could really be doing that, but they could also just be being kind of a jerk or they didn't like you that much. They're a narcissist. That's like a real clinical diagnosis.
Right.
And I think that like, yes, it makes you feel like, am I attracting all these horrible, terrible people? No. It's not every person you attract is not a narcissist. We had somebody tell us all of my 3 serious relationships were narcissists. I don't know. Maybe you should look at yourself. I'm talking about some terrible man, but
it was a man. Yeah, of course.
I think that we can feel like we are attracting all these awful people. And sometimes, I don't know, we just kind of picked wrong, or these people were kind of jerks to us, but you're not some narcissistic gaslighting magnet.
Yeah. And I just always want to stress, like, Rayna and I are pro boundary, you know, like we're pro protecting your energy when you need to. But if you're a little younger and you don't know yourself as well, which is how it is when you're younger. My personal experience, which may not be everybody's, was I didn't feel like I really knew myself till my 30s or, 30 or like late 20s. So that whole time becoming an adult, whatever it is, late teens, early 20s, college to 30 is like figuring it out and figuring out what you want, what you don't want, what your boundaries are. So when you have all this stuff being shoved down your throat, it can make you feel like that's how it's supposed to be. And all of a sudden you're this person who has all these rules that you didn't really make for yourself. So I think it's just kind of like filtering what comes in through your own preferences and experiences.
Yeah. I love how you said that, by the way. It's just a filtering system. No one loves a boundary more than me. And no one likes to make fun of icks more than me. I don't take any of this so seriously. I just wouldn't write somebody off for an ick. And I think boundaries are really important, but I think it's important to differentiate between what's like a boundary that makes us feel safe and healthy and what's just like a real overcorrection. Like a boundary for me is like, I want to date somebody who I'm really inspired by what they do with their life. If I don't feel like day to day, I just feel like I love hearing what you have going on, You're not for me. That's my boundary. But I'm not going to set boundaries. Like if he works in finance, he's not for me. I'm not going to be like this archetype, this whole thing, not for me. Because my brother works in finance and no one is a better husband than my brother. No one is kinder to his wife and more sensitive and wonderful and warm. And yeah, you could say this is like some football player, finance guy, archetype, but like that's the sweetest husband I've ever seen. Also Matt, also your brother, but also just like a football player.
Right. Football player, bartender, guy that's just got girls like throwing themselves at him all the time. Like couldn't be a better husband and father.
Literally.
Yeah.
Love our brothers. So I'm just not going to just be like, leave him, fuck him. Absolutely not. Because I mean, you were going to write off the whole world if we do that.
I know. A lot of those comments on that first date list were just like, have fun being single, y'all. And I don't love that sentiment either.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So I want to be clear. Like that can be an overcorrection too. Like we're all allowed to have like things we do and don't like. And we're also allowed to make joking content about it when it comes to icks and these things. Like also, that list was not the Bible, it's not to be taken so seriously. But I just think it's like when you are younger and you're figuring this all out, you are being shaped and molded by this type of advice, and just make sure it actually resonates with who you genuinely are. And you didn't just get into this like TikTok hole and other people are creating your boundaries and your preferences for you.
I love how you said that. That was amazing.
Okay. Well, yeah, we just wanted to pop off about this. And it's funny because Puberty, which is this account, they did kind of a rebuttal, places for an acceptable first date according to men. And it's like sort of a joke. It's a joke. But some of them I don't know. Okay. I don't know also if it's supposed to be spooky themed. But anyway, so here is...
What if it's not?
Oh, wait. It says women did do places for an acceptable first date. And it's like picnics and all this stuff. But the men's one feels a little jokey, but okay. Graveyard, funeral, cemetery, strip club, movies, dark alley, hiking, arcades, Costco, Cheesecake Factory, comedy club, Legoland, playing Fortnite in the basement, small romantic dinner, supermarket shopping, trampoline park, hospital since it's expensive, corn maze, children's McDonald's, playhouse, crime scene, a walk.
This is where to not go on a date?
This is places for an acceptable first date.
I would do half of those dates for sure.
Graveyard.
We used to hang out in the graveyard.
Also, they
in high
put
school.
graveyard and cemetery.
Are those
It's
different
redundant.
things?
Isn't that the same thing?
Of course, a man wrote this. A woman would never. Ashley's like, I found an inconsistency in the list. When we were in high school, we definitely drank in graveyards. I probably hooked up in one.
Yeah, Costco.
I don't hate it.
Solid.
Don't
you have a
we know
Costco
somebody-
membership? Okay, go off.
I know somebody that went on their first date at Costco.
Corn maze.
Corn maze adorable. Picnic? Fine, cute.
Trampoline park.
That's hysterical. You know people are dying to take me to one. See those titty mouths? No one's taking you to one of those. They're like, I want to see that third set bounce.
So dead. But you end up with this like strong boob guy. And he's like, I'd love to go to the trampoline park. He just wants to see your tits bounce. I offer to go. My man's like, we don't need to go.
It's not necessary. You're like, I love trampolines. He's like, it's not for you. Hiking, people would love that. Not me. That sounds like the worst day in the world. Comedy club, maybe not for a first date. I like to be able to talk to somebody.
I obviously did comedy for years at the Stand in New York, and a lot of people would be on first dates, and I didn't mind it, especially because
you could make fun of them.
Well, don't sit in the front unless you want to be made fun of. But I also think like if you're feeling yourself, it makes for like a really sexy thing. If the comic is kind of like crowd working you, and you can both handle it, and you're sharing your story, and it's like, are you guys gonna fuck tonight? Whatever. But I mean, the Stand is such a vibe with you get drinks before, drinks after.
The Stand, yeah, totally.
And I don't mind it for a first date. Because if there is any awkwardness, then you don't have to worry about it. You're watching the comedy show, and then you can see what they laugh at, and you can still get to know each other before and after.
Again,
I don't mind it.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just don't, a first date
not for me.
with a stranger from an app, I'm just having a drink. I may hate you.
That's all I'm committing to is a drink.
Like I'm committing to 30 minutes, and then second date, if we're going on a second date, like all bets are off. Like I'll do whatever. I'll do anything on any of these lists.
Totally.
From the comedy club to Legoland to Cheesecake Factory to the cemetery.
I used to be like Let's do anything. I'll go to like a food festival with you. I just want to meet you for one drink. I had a date the other night. We each had one drink and I got the fuck out of there.
Right.
I don't want to commit to anything
Totally.
else. And I know earlier I was like, I'll go to a football game. But also it just depends on the day of the week, how
Yeah.
I'm feeling. But most of the time, I'm just trying to have one drink and go home.
Yeah.
I might hate you like I hated that guy.
But the guy here, I mean, we met when he was coming to my house to be a TaskRabbit, but we did go on a date and it was like a coffee lunch.
Well, that was your second date. The first date was the TaskRabbit.
Well, the first date he was at work.
Yeah, right.
Our first date was like coffee.
At your house. You did have a date at your house.
Rayna, it's not a date if I'm paying him his hourly rate.
That's called a prostitute. It's exactly a date. Every prostitute in every movie shows up and says, hey, I heard you called for a date.
Rayna, it's 6 p.m. It's your
I
bedtime.
want you to leave. I'm dying for you guys to leave, okay?
It's Rayna's
I don't know how this happens. You come over 1:30 and it's like the sun has set.
I'm putting my shoes on. It's Rayna's, it's Rayna's bedtime. We have to go.
I didn't even get to read my book outside.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And
I really had so much fun doing this episode.
I know.
I've wanted to do this for a long time.
I really missed you.
For a long time. I have to see you tomorrow too.
yeah, and the next day. And
God damn it, Ashley.
it never ends. Yeah, we have a dinner Wednesday.
Thursday, I get one day off from each other. Thursday and then Sunday also. Maybe. We'll see.
Okay, guys, girlsgottaeat.com to get those tour tickets to our final shows and Girls Gotta Eat podcast on Instagram and TikTok and Vibes Only. Get that little Debbie, change your life. The new suck and blow gel and the lube and our new packaging. You're going to love that too. Vibes Only on Instagram as well. I'm Ash Hess. Rayna is Rayna.Greenberg. And share this with a friend and live your best life out there dating and figure out your own boundaries. Don't let TikTok do it for you. And we'll see you next week.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.